Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we'd like to begin this lesson by giving all glory, all honor, and all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kodash. I'd like to give double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who surely do rule well. To the men standing by the highways and byways pushing this doctrine, we'd like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
And even unto the sincere Aquat, the sisters who sit listening to these lessons in silence, subjection, and obedience unto their husbands, we'd like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
Right, a couple of brothers here gathered together from the heroes of Yahushai camp.
Brother Hanana.
Brother Maya Shara. Just wanted to bring out a little edification on some recent events, right? There's, because we're seeing there's war season, right? Because the Bible does definitely predict and tell the story of a World War III. There's Revelation 11 and verse 14. The second war is past. Going into that war, it speaks of destruction.
That's going into the word subject.
Right, go ahead.
There's the word war in Revelation 11 and 14.
Right.
The word war is from G to the 759. Uai or Uai, a last war. Origin a primitive exclamation of grief. Strong's definition a primary exclamation of grief, war, a last war. Hold on. I think it's in Hebrew where it says destruction.
Lamentation morning that war. If you go Ezekiel 2:10.
Yeah. Ezekiel 2:10. There's a thing in Lamentation morning. Morning. So it's not here. I think I ought to look it up in online etymology because the word war means destruction.
Oh, that word right there. Go back. That word there. Calamity.
Right. Tawada. Right. So when I went to the Merriam Webster dictionary, right, to type in the word war. It goes into definition. One is one of two entries, used as the expression of grief, regret, or distress.
Right, so woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days, right?
Definition entry 2 of 2, a condition of deep suffering from misfortune, affliction, or grief. 2, ruinous trouble or calamity and affliction. We're going to the word calamity. It says, what a disastrous event marked by great loss and lasting distress and suffering.
Right, so a disastrous event. They were spoken about in the book of Revelation 3 disastrous events or 3 destructive events that were set to take place on the face of the earth. Right?
We should say 3 major ones, but because there have been many.
Right.
There have been many.
Right, and we know, pursuant to real world history, 1948, what the Third War began when the Cold War began. But what this Cold War gonna heat up to something fiery, right?
Because the thing is, the Cold War has been going on since 1948. It just never reached the heights it has been at until these last few. You can say years when
but these last days are gonna reach that high point, a boiling point. It's gonna reach nuclear. Isaiah 9 and 5.
Yeah, but when
This,
when
so
Russia
that,
started, when Russia started bomb Ukraine again, that's 21 or 22.
nah, 20. It's
22.
around COVID time self.
COVID time, you sure?
Yeah.
Whenever Russia really started bomb Ukraine, when the war really started to heat back up, because it was kind of at a standstill.
So now, the Bible definitely speaks about the events that we're living in right now. Let's see here, Matthew 24 and verse 6, right? Because we fully expect a World War III to happen, because again, the Bible speaks of it.
Shall say, not one of his words shall fall to the ground.
Isaiah 55. None of his words shall come back unto him void, but it shall go forth and accomplish that whereto he sent it, right? Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, wars, and kingdom against kingdom, wars, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, or what? Calamities, right? And going to 2 Ezra chapter 16, reading from verse 17. Woe is me who will deliver me in those days. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right?
Trying to remember. Galatians. Redeeming the time, for the times are evil.
Yeah, for the days, look up times evil. Yeah, I should get it.
Ephesians 5 and 16, right?
Yeah.
Ephesians 5 and 16. I'll read from 14. Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
And what the days gonna get evil, 2 Ezra 16, verse 31. Even so in those days, the days of these wars, there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old. Her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So we telling you, these wars coming 18, and then jump to 34.
34.
Right? So what we seeing that what these wars coming, right? And if you ain't had nothing there, we could get to it when we ask Grok, because we asked Grok the question. If you could pull it up.
Yeah, this is
ChatGPT. So like
That's ChatGPT.
Right.
If WW3, which is World War III, was to happen based on current events, can you give us a percentage chance on which nation would likely come out on top?
Because the Bible gives the account that World War III is going to happen. Did it tell you of the winner? Yes, it did. But before we go into who's going to win World War III, we'd like to see what ChatGPT says, right?
It's predicting the outcome of the hypothetical World War III isn't something any analyst can give reliable percentage odds for.
Right.
Too many variables are unknown. Alliances, whether nuclear weapons are used.
And the nuclear weapons will be used real quick.
Jump back to Revelation 11, so.
Nah, I just have it here, Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. What I'm speaking about the use of nuclear weapons, bombs, ICBMs, anything you think about, atomic bombs, anything having to do with fire in our war, that coming in this war.
Because I think the scripture the scripture is what you will as it is right now. Anytime any big nation problems our next nation, whether the big or small, nuke.
missile,
fire
hypersonics, yeah.
atomic bomb.
Example, the real world events taking place currently right now. Iran
Iran was
strike
just-
Israel with missiles.
And Israel strike Iran, I think, or America strike Iran.
So what? But it have missiles, it have fire in play right now. So go ahead.
Too many variables are unknown. Alliances, whether nuclear weapons are used, cyber warfare, economic collapse, internal politics, and even accidental escalation. You know, it's by accident.
Yeah, the
Only
Lord
God
had
had
put
Father.
it, the
God had
Revelation
put it in the
17:17. Lord had put it in their hearts to fulfill His will,
They
right?
should give their kingdom over unto the decent and
All the words of power
God
be
be
fulfilled. So
and
what?
the scripture said the kings of the earth shall burn her with fire.
Right.
So
Yep.
we sure fire will not be used, and it's no accident. Even major military think tanks avoid assigning exact probabilities.
Right. Go ahead.
However, based on current global power structures, military strength, alliances, economy, technology, geography, we look at which blocks would most likely have strategic advantages if a large global conflict occurred. Likely major blocks, modern geopolitics toward us suggests conflicts would probably form around alliances rather than single countries. So it ain't gonna be like one country won and next country wants to have a war. A group of countries want to go up against this country and a group of countries want to help them. The scripture said, make God and make God be our God unto them. Western Alliance, most analysts consider this is the strongest bloc. US, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Japan, South Korea, most members of NATO.
Right.
Advantages: large combined economy, technological superiority, global naval dominance, extensive intelligence networks, large alliance system. Estimate strategic advantage if conventional war only, roughly 55 to 65% likelihood of eventual dominance.
Right. Go ahead.
Bullshit. 2. China/central bloc. China, potential support from Russia, possible alignment from Iran and North Korea. Advantages: massive manufacturing capacity, large population for mobilization, geographic depth, rapidly modernizing military. Weaknesses: fewer former military allies, naval disadvantage globally, trade dependence on sea routes. Estimate strategic advantage, roughly 30 to 40% chance.
Right.
Non-aligned regional powers. Some countries might stay neutral or play both sides. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's pick a side.
Nah,
It's
man.
pick a side.
It's India, which will be Elam in the scriptures, or Persia, I think.
Persia.
Brazil, Turkey, which is
Goma,
Goma in the scriptures, and Goma, and eventually go and help Russia.
which is with again the BRICS nations, which we know these nations gonna turn on America,
Brazil
but not
for sure not same with America.
right. So what we're not trying to necessarily get into the breakdown behind this because as our video for another time, what I really want to get to is the final answer that this AI platform gave us, because this AI platform somewhat gave partly the correct answer, but they didn't give the whole answer because of course we didn't ask the question to necessarily get the answer we want, right? But go ahead.
The alignment could shift the balance significantly, especially India. The nuclear factor, most important reality. If strategic nuclear weapons were widely used, United States, Russia, China, France, and United Kingdom, a large-scale exchange could trigger mutually assured destruction, meaning no real winner.
Alright, so what? Even if all these countries were to go to war, from the time the nukes get involved, the fire get involved, none of these nations would actually win. I wonder why. Go ahead.
Civilizational collapse or nuclear winter scenario becomes possible.
Yeah.
In that case, probability of any clear winner very low, maybe under 10 to 20%. What current events suggest. The biggest flashpoint and analysis watched today are the Taiwan tension involving China and the United States, the Russian-Ukraine war, conflict risks between Iran and Israel, South China Sea territorial disputes. These are regional conflicts that can theoretically expand into a
Broader war, right?
Bottom line.
So proxy wars become bigger wars become national wars become kingdoms against kingdoms, the world war. Go ahead. Western alliances.
Bottom line, Western Alliance's chance is 55 to 65% advantage in a conventional global war. China-Russia bloc is 30 to 40%, but the nuclear war aspect scenario, no real winner. That is bullshit, because the scripture clearly gives us the winner.
Right, because that is just the point right there. If we just hone in on the nations involved and not bring the real player into the scenario, then there is no real winner of World War III. But we know who's going to win World War III. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? If you could give me it, because
Wait a second, it's 16 from 3.
No, but not even that.
Not yet?
No, not that. Give me is it I think it's Joel 3 cause thy mighty ones to come down
Joel
to that,
3.
right? Because we have to understand the Most High Yahweh.
3 and 9.
It is, I believe, yes, Zephaniah 3 and 8, right? Muster the host of the battle. In fact, nah, not Zephaniah 3 and 8, but this one is a good one as well. But let me see. I believe is right. I want to see if it's this as well, but I believe is before I read that one. Before you read that one, see if you get the one muster the host of the battle. I don't think it's in this chapter. So just look for that one real quick. Turret.
Isaiah
13:4. Right, go ahead. Go ahead, just the
Isaiah
13:4.
13:4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people.
So a war is going on.
Mm-hmm. A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together.
Right.
The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yeshav hosts mustered the hosts of the battle.
So the people involved in this battle, the Most High is the one who is involving them. He's the one who's declaring who shall partake in this battle. Is Zephaniah 3 and 8. In fact, go to the Joel first.
No, let me keep reading. They come from a far country,
right,
from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh Shem Yeshai, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
So what? Even the weapons are going to be used. These weapons are the weapons of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Go ahead.
Holy, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yeshai is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
So we already have the answer there, but we're going to go more in depth. The person who's going to win World War III is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. If you could go back to that, Joel 3:11.
Joel 3, I think I read from
9. That's 11.
3 to 11.
Okay. Yep.
Joel 3 and 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen.
All the nations of the earth.
And gather yourselves together round about Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh Shem Yeshai.
So the angels have a part to play in this as well. They're going to be a part of this war, which you're going to get into, right? Go ahead.
Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
So the World War III that is set to take place in the earth is just a means through which the Lord is using to bring judgment upon these nations. Go ahead.
Put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you dung, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
Right.
Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yeshai is near in the valley of decision.
So this is the Lord's day. The day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. And what is the decision that the Most High has deemed or determined upon these nations? Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, right? Cause all these men to come down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So where's the form right now? The Most High is declaring that he's the one who plans to win World War III. And who is the man he's sending to win this war? Because again, as we are going to with the last video in that Isaiah 59, therefore my arm had brought me salvation. There's a man that the Most High is sending who's going to win World War III on his behalf. Who is that? Yahweh Shai, his son. He's the real character. He's the real player in this whole scenario that these nations are not taken account of. He's the one who's going to win World War III for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for the nation of Israel, right?
To be honest, because the whole earth land was Shemai now.
Right. In fact, I even have the Isaiah 59 right here still, right?
Right.
Verse 16, and he saw, Isaiah 59:16, and he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation. Matthew 1:21, thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai, for he shall save his people from their sins.
Scripture also says Mark, the last chapter and the second to last verse, and what he sat at the right hand of the Father,
Right.
and he should be made his footstool.
Right? And therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him. So the one who the Most High has determined to win this World War III is actually Yahweh Shai on his behalf. There's Revelation 19. I'm going to read from verse 11, right? And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat thereon, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness doth he judge and make war.
Because you know the faithful and true one is Yahweh Shai, the Revelation 3 and 14, and to the angel of the church of the Laodiceans, right? These things say the Amen, that faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of Yahweh.
So we know this is speaking of Yahweh Shai.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes were his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Why? Well, Revelation 6 going to tell you. And he had a name which goes into the Greek onoma, which speaks of his rank, written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Power. And the armies, so what? He have armies coming as well? Yes, he does. We're going to get into all of this because, again, cause thy mighty ones to come down thither, O Yahweh. The angels, even Revelation 12 had that one queued up as well. The angels also going to have their hand to play in this whole war as well, right? His name is called the Word, right? And the armies which were in heaven, verse 14, followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations.
That's the same thing referred to in I think that real quick.
That second is us. We could go to that as well because that actually
Go
had to be
ahead.
that actually could be that should be the last precept that on Revelation 11 and 15.
Okay.
Right? Out a sharp sword, right? He should smite the nations and he shall rule them. So even this Revelation 19:15 telling you who's gonna win, and he should rule them with a rod of iron, and he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty power. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So why would verse
Keep it.
Verse 17, and I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captives, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped the image. These were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone, and the remnant which and the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So what Yahweh Shai won? Again now, going to Revelation 12 And from verse 7,
Because in Revelation 19, because how people get well. Keep reading.
19,
No, read 12.
read 12, right? Revelation 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his
The
angels.
scripture said, Michael man stand for the children of thy people in that day, Daniel 12 and 1.
Right?
Keep reading.
And this dragon again, speaking of Esau and Edom, his power
That's
structure
the
in the
thing.
earth.
I was not going to explain that. Keep reading.
Yeah. Verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
And this heaven we're talking about here is not like what the Father dwelling, because the scripture says Job 25 and 2, make a peace in his high places. This heaven we're talking about here referring to the state at which they were in. They were in a state of rulership, of dominance, and when this here is happen and come to pass, they will no longer be in that. Right?
Because even when you talk about where the heaven is as well,
It
because
also had
the
second
firmament.
heavens as well, the firmament. When we read Genesis, the first chapter, I tell you that the Lord make a firmament to separate the waters from the waters, and this firmament he called heaven.
Right. So what this fight is going to take place
In
in your
sky.
skies, right? You're gonna see this, right? And prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which we know this speaking about Esau, because again, when you go into that devil, it goes into deceiver, and when it goes into that Satan, it goes into adversary. Esau was called both of these things, right? Which deceived the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. His
Right.
angels speaking of his soldiers, right? Go ahead.
And everything right there, we know this for a fact. I'll be talking about the spiritual entity. Satan came in Revelation 19. We don't read it, Revelation 19 and 19.
And the armies which were in heaven followed upon him.
No, Revelation 19 and 19. I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies
Ooh, yeah,
gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
Right,
So we
again-
know for a fact
yep.
this can't be referring to the spirit. Satan can't be the helping our shy by.
No, but that is even yappa, because now you now put the image on the dragon that they're speaking about, and you now put the image of the armies, not armies as well. Let's say his angels, right? Because what we know that if you're warring Michael, obviously by the time Michael is ready to war the armies of this earth, it's off the command of Yahweh. We're gonna get that in Matthew 24, and what he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet. So these men not gonna move and make war against the earth until the command had been given them. So my thing is this: if this is a war that's going to go on between Michael and his angels, being the chief, the archangel of all the armies in heaven, right? And he's going to war the armies of the dragon, but it also speaks of that the kings of the earth and their armies went to war this man. Obviously, this is not speaking of Satan, all day, right? Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. So again, the Bible here is clearly detailing the winner of this third world war. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren. And next example as to how we know this dragon is speaking about Esau and Edom. When did Esau accuse us? That Psalm 50 tells you the story,
Because
right?
Satan in this.
Right. The accuser of our brethren is cast down, with which accused them before our power day and night. Right? So what? There is a war that's going to take place, and Yahweh is going to come during the middle of World War III, or what the height of World War III. We're gonna get that in our second and just 13, right? So now going now to the next precept we had. Is it
Revelation 6.
Revelation 6, right? Revelation 6 and 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, which speaks of his chariots, or our next code name for them, as the world would know, the UFOs, right, the spaceships. But also in Matthew 24, you'll see it referred to as what, the clouds of heaven, right?
It's called clouds, chariots,
Horse,
pillar of fire.
all these things,
And
right?
it's on wings. It has wings as well.
Right. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. So what? The rulership and dominion of the earth was given unto him, because what does it say? And upon his head were many crowns, and he even had the title King of Kings. So what did he destroy? The kings of the earth, as that Revelation 19 puts it. The kings went to war against him. So did he win? Yes, he did.
You can't find out that. No. Yeah.
Right? Was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. So what? So far we see that the stages said that what? He went to war with these nations, but did he win? Right? Because even Matthew 24 tells you, if you could go to it, Matthew 24:27, right? For as the lightning, so like when you get, yep. Matthew 24:27, for as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
I mean, a flash.
Right?
Real quick. Because I next thing you know, I next thing we know how the Lord will win this war, because
The speed at which them chariots he have operating, it's the faster and the speed of light.
they can't catch that. Them nuclear missiles moving as fast as the speed of sound. They can't break the speed of light.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord Son moving faster than that.
Mm-hmm.
Or at that speed, I should say.
At the speed of light.
You go and lightning flash from east and go to the west. By the time that lightning done flash, we and see the Lord day, and every man jack gonna have me shaking his head.
There it is, and all I shall see him.
All eyes shall see him, every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess he is Lord.
Mm-hmm. Right, Matthew 24, continuing 27, cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Also, this carcass, speaking of the elect, Colossians 3:3, your life is, is it ye are dead and your life is hidden in Mashiach?
Okay.
The men who were dead to this world, they love not their lives unto death, right? And
I
the eagles...
say too, he that keepeth his life shall lose it, but he that loses his life for my name's sake
shall find it. So what we know the elect as counted as good as dead to this world, right? And what the eagles being gathered together also, wherever our carcasses are gonna get eagles, these eagles speaking of the angels, right? Because the angels gonna go for these carcasses, right? Matthew 24:29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, right? Because the chariot gonna block out the sun, and the moon shall not give her light.
Not only chariots too, but the clouds as well.
Yeah. And
the pillars are smoke when the missiles going off.
yeah. Right? Moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
The power truck shall done now.
Right,
Because
yeah.
like, what the fuck we gonna do now?
Mm-hmm. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So what we seeing again is going to be a full-scale war, and Yahweh Shai is coming with the whole army of heaven again. The armies of heaven followed him upon white horses, right? So now, going now to Isaiah 47, right, and verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, right, he had visited and redeemed his people, Luke 1:68. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. So just like how he had visited and redeemed his people by sending his son to be born and die and be resurrected, all for the sins of the nation of Israel, he's going to be called the Redeemer. Right? He's going to be called the Redeemer again when he sends his son to what? Take vengeance on these nations on his behalf. Because what? He's heading straight to the capital. Right? Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? Capital, chief city of Edom, right?
Not the chief city, it was a chief city.
Right?
Yeah.
That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save, right? He shall save his people from their sins. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel? So why your clothes covered, and looking red? And thy garments like him that treaded the wine fat, right? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in mine fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all mine raiment, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart. So it's in his mind, right? All eyes shall see him, even they that pierced him. So you definitely know he thinking about these people. And the year of my redeemed is come. That year being what? The day of the Lord. The one who's going to win World War III is Yahushua, because we are the closing one here, the last two. Second is just 13. We're gonna go into that. And Revelation 11:15, right? The book of Second is just 13, and we're gonna read from verses 1, right? And it came to pass after 7 nights, I dreamed a dream by night. So Jesus is getting a vision here. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. So this is a boisterous noise he's hearing. And I beheld, and lo, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. So as he went, it's as though he was just getting stronger and stronger, because the more and more he went on, it looked like he couldn't be stopped. And again, the thousands of heaven, the Lord of hosts is his name, heaven's armies, right?
Psalm 68 and 17, the chariots of power are 20,000,
right?
Even thousands of angels. The Lord Yahushua is among them as in Sinai in the holy place.
So what, again, these angels coming and coming with Yahushua, it's a lot.
It also have our next one, read quick, Enoch says.
Enoch prophesied?
Yes. Jude 1 and 14. Also Enoch, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints.
So what then?
To execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds
which they have ungodly committed,
and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
Right? So going now, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, right? These angels, these mighty ones. Again, Daniel 12 and 1 definitely sets the scene. Michael is coming back, right? And he's going to fight for his people, right? And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that was seen under him. Again, then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Three,
okay.
Right? All things tremble that was seen under him. All the tribes, all the earth shall mourn, right? And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they all burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. Feeleth the fire, right? So what? We understand again that sharp sword that goeth forth out of his mouth is really what? The command that he gave for the fire to come out of the chariots, what? To burn these fuckers. Go ahead.
Because the first time having a bow, they say fire come out of his mouth. And in Habakkuk 3 and 4 it says, and his brightness was the light, and he had horns coming out of his hand. And there was the hiding of his power. But when you go into this horns here, it says Quran, one horn, let me see what it is. One F. Rays of light.
So what the laser beams from the chariot. So 1 minute it coming out of his mouth, 1 minute it coming out of his hand. Where is it coming out of? It's coming from the chariot. So what he's giving the command, blast he, kill he, burn he, and it just happening. As soon as he's saying it, as soon as the command is given, you just see fire just issuing forth out of the chariot to burn these people up. Right?
When I go into the Strong's, it says Quran, BDB definition 1 to shine, 1A to send out rays. Strong's definition, a primitive root to push out or go, or use only as denominated from H7161 to shoot out horns, figuratively rays.
Right, so what these rays of light, these laser beams. Verse 4, 13 and 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea meaning what? Out of the waters, the Shemayim, out of heaven, right? So he came down out of heaven. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it.
I talking about the child. Our next code name for the child.
And like a mountain, right? And I would have seen the regional place where the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he that lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
So that's how we know for a fact. When you say you have a bow, or you come with a sword, or yeah. The next thing is bow, sword,
Or fire.
fire, anything like that. Now referring to like actually holding something here and cast upon them. No,
It's
like
like
coming here with pure power numbers and I get a real quick numbers 11 and 1. The numbers 11 and 1, and when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled. And the fire of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yeshai, burned among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp.
ooh, so what, again, it's not speaking about anything that he necessarily physically has in his hand, but the power that he wields again when they go into that Revelation 6. And power was given unto him that sat thereon. So what being on this horse means you wield the power that this horse has, right? And Yahweh Shai definitely wields the power of the armies of heaven. Where it is Joshua, we told Joshua, I am the captain of the Lord's host.
Let me get a real quick.
Yep,
Joshua
yep.
5 and 14.
Right, so he definitely is in command. He's in command of the hosts of heaven, right?
Joshua 5 and 14. And he said, Nay, but as the captain of the hosts of the Lord Yahweh,
Heaven's armies, that when they go into that word host.
am I now come? And Yahweh Shai the son of Nun fell on his face to the earth and did worship, and said unto him, What says my Lord unto his servant?
Right?
And the captain of the Lord Yahweh Bashim, the captain of the Lord Yahweh hosts said unto Yahweh Shai the son of Nun, Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Yahweh Shai the son of Nun did so.
So exactly. So we understand Yahweh Shai has command over the hosts of heaven, right? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude, 2 Ezra 39, that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But he came to make war, but he don't hold any instrument of war.
Come on.
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and a great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So what? He won the war. Read that in the NEB if you could, Babu Kasha. And we could go down in the same chapter as well when the angel would have given the breakdown as what this vision meant, right?
There is second is read from 10, 9.
Just 11.
11, okay. The second is just 13 and 11 in the New English Bible. All of them combined into one mass, a stream of fire, the breath of flame, and a great storm. It fell on the host advancing to join battle, and burnt up every man of them. Suddenly all that enormous multitude had disappeared, leaving nothing but dust and ashes and a reek of smoke. I was dumbfounded at the sight.
Because what? Revelation says it. Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with the beast? Who so strong in the earth that would be able to war the mighty man in the earth? As Yahweh Shai says, if you want to spoil the goods of the strong man, thou must first bind the strong man. So what he was dumbfounded as as to how easily Yahweh Shai actually won this war, right? Jumping down 2nd Ezra 13, I'm going to jump to verse 21, right? Salak, when you're ready, right? The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required, right? So now this angel is going to explain the things which Ezra saw. Jump into verse 25. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom Yahweh the highest had kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. He shall order them that are left behind. So who's this speaking of? Yahweh Shai, which is sit thou at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. So right, so this is that great season that's being spoken about. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High.
What you doing?
Behold the. Right? Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. Again, World War III. Verse 31.
Okay.
Right? Verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I shewed thee before, and then shall my son be declared. So even Ezra knew about the son of power even before he came onto the scene.
He even knew his name.
Right? Whom thou sawest as a man ascending, right? You're gonna get that?
2nd Ezra 7 and 28. I think of 5 and 58. 7 and 28, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
2nd Ezra 7 and 28. For my son Yahweh shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
So he saw two prophecies of Yahweh Shai when he would have came to the earth the last time he was here 2,000 years ago, and then when he will come back again, right, to deliver the creation, right, to deliver the elect and put these nations down.
That is spirit, and I know. I come and read it. The 2nd Ezra 7 and 28 in the New English Bible, right? My son, the Messiah, shall appear with his companions and bring 400 years of happiness to all who survive. At the end of that time, my son the Messiah shall die, so shall all mankind who draw breath. So that the thing right there, I just knew of the coming of the Messiah.
Right, so what the book of 2nd Ezra is canonical, right? Going and when verse 33, and when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. So they're going to stop World War III in the middle of it, at the height of it, and then what? They're going to come. They're going to come for him, right? And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be shewed to all men, being prepared and builded like as thou sawest a hell graven without hand. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life have fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented again. Convince them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, which are like unto a flame. Isaiah 66:14 render his rebuke with flames of fire, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto me. So what we saw who won the war, because again we even know Yahweh Shai is coming at the culmination of World War III, because what Revelation 14 and 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. This is speaking about what the judgment for taking the mark of the beast. So even though we see in World War III is coming to pass in the 8th day, and we see moves being made for World War III possible event to happen, we know nothing is going to happen until the mark of the beast is made and mandated. Why? Because the culmination of World War III is the judgment for taking the mark of the beast, which is what the nuclear blast, that lake of fire that they're going to be cast into. And Yahushua has to be there to witness their judgment. So it's almost going to look as though Yahushua is the one himself administering the judgment. That what people are going to believe. Because technically he is, because he has the bow, and that judgment is the arrows spoken of that are going to be shot into all ends of the earth in that 2nd Ezra 16, right?
Scripture says, I do the will of my Father that sent me.
Yeah, I delight to do thy will, O power, right? Revelation now 11 and 15 to finally answer the question, who's going to win World War III? And the 7 angels sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord Yahweh and of his anointed Yahushai, and he shall reign forever and ever. So according to the Bible, who's going to win World War III if it ever does happen, which according to the Bible it will happen, is who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and that you were edified. In closing, we like to say, Kal Halal Yamla Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Ruchach Vedash. We'd like to give double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who surely do rule well. To the men standing by the highways and byways pushing this doctrine, we like to say Shalom. And even unto the sincere Akwati sisters who sit listening to these lessons in silence, subjection, obedience unto their husbands, we like to say Shalom. This was a couple of your brothers, some of the heroes of Yahweh Shaikan, brother and brother Maya Shala. Until next time, we like to say Shalom.